Happy New Day. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. So Wednesday is a really good day for communication, for meetings, for workshops, learning, lessons. So, when you see that, I don't know, I'm from the old school church, so usually time Bible study is on Wednesdays. When I was in the school system, staff meetings were on Wednesdays. So, whether they knew what planet is ruling the day or not, it was in alignment. The worst day to have meetings and all of those different things is on a Friday or Moon Day, Monday, But you see businesses, and you see people planning these things without, the consciousness to know that, hey, there's another time and space that you can do this that will be way more fruitful. Which is why I like to do the workshop, the spiritual side of business. Very impactful. I actually had a couple come in on Saturday at Market Day, realtors, experienced realtors, soon to be, the wife is soon to be a broker, and give a testimony on how impactful it is for them to consider the spiritual side of business as they continue to build their business. So anyway, just wanted to throw that out there. Every time I hop on, I like to give a little knowledge around the energy of the day. You can get so intentional where you even look at the energy of the hour, right? You can look at what planet is ruling the hour and be even much more intentional. The beautiful thing about it is when you're roaming about life, and you're planning things like meetings and planning to spend money and planning to sign contracts and planning to wed people, marry people and planning to have babies and all of these different things and planning to, go on dates and all of this. It's actually prime times for all of those different things. So, if you know the prime time, hey, you can stack the cards up for you, instead of working with cards already stacked against you in those moments. There are hours in a day where it's not good to be trying to have any kind of confrontational type conversations. So if you need to have a confrontational, I don't think confrontation always has to be negative to confront something. However, in certain hours, it's not really the right timing for you to try to stand your ground or make your point or, confront anything. So, hope that was resonant. If you want to learn more about the energy of the days, you can check out my ebook, A Different Kind of Living. It's at my Etsy shop on the link in bio, and I think the direct link is in the bio as well. If you scroll all the way down, you will see it. Ebook, A Different Kind of Living. It has various things in it where it's talking about how you can, just simple ways you can raise your vibration and live intentionally, so that you can live a fruitful life. I am very grateful for my life. I am very grateful for my strength. I'm very grateful for my abundance, very grateful for my faith. I am very grateful for my power, very grateful. I stay at the level of gratitude, and I'm so grateful for that because I haven't always understood the true essence. I'll say essence, not necessarily meaning, but the true essence of gratitude. I can say that I haven't always fully understood it. I had a teacher once, an elder brother of mine, who always emphasized gratitude as a necessity. If you're talking about any type of spirituality, spiritual whatever, gratitude is where it's at. This was an Islamic brother, and so he would talk about that a lot, and I'm like, gratitude. Okay, so thank you for this, but once I really started to understand the reality that I am a spiritual being, you know, and what that means, you know, and how that applies to my life and the world around me, and how that applies to how my life is unfolding, the gratitude hit different, you know. Once you know those things, the gratitude hit way different. Once you really understand that, you know, what does it mean to be a spiritual being. So I wanted to hop on and talk about, you know, the title of this live is You Make Me Sick. You make me sick. I remember as a youth, as a younger youth, because I am still quite young, my dear. But as a younger woman, I used to hear, you know, you make me sick. You make me sick. And I was just reflecting on the fact that, you know, if we're dealing with any type of imbalance, sickness, illness, dis-ease, you know, you're not at ease. If you're dealing with anything like that, you know, it's not anybody else, really. You know, it is, I want to say natural. I want to say a natural human tendency to shift blame or shift reason or cause outside of themselves, which is why sometimes it's very difficult for me to have the conversation with clients or customers or anybody about the why of life, the causes of life, or even the solutions. Because most, if not all, I venture to say all solutions for all problems start internally. It's not something external. You have to start within. So if you're dealing with a dis-ease, if you're dealing with a struggle, a problem, an imbalance at all, you have to first start with, what is my role in this? What is my role in this? And that becomes very difficult, because oftentimes we want to feel like we don't have a role in this. You know, I mean, I don't want this, so surely I don't play a role in these things that's happening to me. I don't want this, so it can't be me. It's not me. It's him, it's her, it's them, it's that, you know, that's making me feel mad, sad, scared, worried, anxious, this, you know. So essentially, it's not right and exact for you to say, you make me sick. You're making yourself sick. You're making yourself sick. If you want to find truly sustainable happiness and balance and peace and abundance and wealth and health and all of those different things, there's a balancing and an alignment that has to happen from the inside, and then it manifests outward. Hard thing to swallow when you're dealing with relationships, whether that's relationships with your children, your mates, your supervisors, your community, the government, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's very difficult for you to say, oh, I got to deal with this from the inside out, but the government is doing this to me, whether it's factual or not. Whether it's factual or not, this is not what we're arguing here. We're not arguing right and wrong. That right and wrong thing gets in the way of advancement a lot. You know, well, it's not right, he's not right, she's not right, they're not right, it's not right. I'll never forget when I was dealing with a very intense situation one time, and an elder was a part of, I was working with an elder board. You all might hear me talk about elders a lot. You know, in a lot of situations in my life, I've dealt with or consulted groups or boards of elders, you know. And I have also been blessed to meet some powerful, very impactful elders in my life that I consider to be teachers. So I'm very grateful about that. So when you hear me talk about elders a lot, I do have a lot of elders in my life, and I consider elders to be those who are more seasoned than I am, that I divinely connect with on a level where I respect what they have to offer. So anyway, the elder said to me, there's nothing, he said, oh, you know, there's nothing good and bad. You know, don't hold on to it like that. There's nothing good and bad. It's either right for you or it's not right for you. You know, it's either in alignment. He didn't use these words, but from, you know, in the words that I use, it's either alignment. It's either in alignment for you or not. That's what righteousness is all about. Is it in alignment for you and your destiny and your blueprint and your lineage and your vision and your heart? That's what's righteous in your sense. Now that work on you becomes essential for you to truly know what's divine righteousness. Because sometimes we can be self-righteous. We can be caught up in that egoic self and then feel like something is right for us, but we're going off of carnal mind or carnal, you know, desires, carnal will, carnal zeal. That's why that self-work is important. That started inside and then, you know, it goes outward. So we're not arguing good or bad. What I'm saying is, no matter the circumstances, no matter if it's in alignment or not with you, here's the thing. If you're experiencing anxiety, worry, fear, anger, resentment, guilt, shame, any of those different things, no matter what it is associated with and how factual that thing is, how right or wrong you feel like that thing is, you have to go within to deal with those imbalances. And oftentimes, it's the mind. You have to work on how you're perceiving things to see how you can balance things, balance the way you're perceiving things to the scale of all is well, all is good, all is God, all is working out for me, everything is always working out for me, those type of things. You have to be able to balance your perception about things so that you can balance that emotion or vibration out. So now let's put this in, oh, it says keep moving. This is scary. That's like a New York type of merge. Now, so let's put this in an example. All right. You have a friend. Okay. A close friend. You have a close friend. And, you know, that close friend is one that you really have come to trust, come to love, come to be comfortable with sharing your world with. You start a business with this brilliant concept, and you're making good money. The friend is there with you. Maybe even the friend becomes like your personal assistant or your administrative assistant. That friend goes off and do a spin-off of your business using your whole blueprint. Using your whole blueprint. I mean, straight, exactly how it is. Right? Now, of course, you're taken aback. What? I cannot believe this. You were my friend. You were my friend for years. I've known you for 25 years. I've known you for 25 years. You done helped me raise my children. You done been in my home. You done met my mama, my daddy. You hurt. At this point, you're hurt. Now, in this type of situation, Queen, how does this apply? When you say, okay, anything that I'm dealing with, anger, because in my imagination, the anger is warranted in this case, right? Sadness, fear, any of those different things. It takes us to work on ourselves internally first to be able to balance what's going on externally. So I gotta work on me first. Let's do it. So first and foremost, when I say things like you are a vibrational match to everything you have going on, in that type of situation, somebody would be mad at me. They would. How can I attract this? And what I advise people to do is don't necessarily focus on the how or the why. Like, how did I attract this? Why did I attract this? Don't focus on that first. Don't do that first. Go with the emotions. What am I feeling? First and foremost, try to balance out and reconcile how you're feeling about the situation. So I use this chart that I just had in my mind this morning to do a workshop on, free to the community. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put that out there. So stay tuned for that. But there's this emotion wheel chart that I use in most of my sessions. 90% of the time, we're going to pull out that emotion wheel, because emotions create motion in life. Emotions are the root of your manifestations. And so that's why the chart comes up a lot, because we want to work through, why are these things happening in my life? So we start with the root. Okay, how am I feeling? I'm feeling angry because there has been a violation. Whether she signed that confidentiality contract or not, she shouldn't have never did that. He shouldn't have never did that. Just moral compass must be off. So I feel angry. It was a violation. I also feel sad because now I feel like I lost a friend. And I feel like I lost respect for them. And I feel like I lost confidence in myself. All of these different things. I feel, who can relate? Maybe not this exact situation, but who can relate to being in a situation where you feel violated? You feel like you've lost respect for yourself or others. You feel like you have lost confidence in yourself because you like, man, how did I not even catch this? How did this just happen to me? Like, this just happened to me? Like, how did this happen? So you feeling all of those feelings, and you might even feel so what is it? Angry, scared. You may even feel scared after that. Like, now I'm afraid to hire anybody. Now I'm afraid to be friends with anybody. Now I have trust issues because I done had this friend for 20 years and they done violated me in this way. Here's all of these feelings. And now you, Queen Yenn, is saying you need to work on it from the inside out. Okay. So now that you've identified those feelings, you want to go back and say, okay, can I reconcile this fear? Meaning, can I move away from being afraid to make friends or hire somebody? How can I move away from that? Well, I try to help individuals align with the reality that, listen, nothing is by chance. Everything is divinely ordered. So whether you truly 100% believe it or not, attempt to accept that all things bring some level of lesson and blessing and good into your life. So here's a prayer, affirmation, or something that you can speak aloud or to yourself. This is a very hurtful situation, but what I trust is everything that happens in my life is leading to something good. And so there's where affirmations come in. I'm giving just tools to use to help balance out life from the inside out. So that's where affirmations come in. Prayer can come in. May this situation turn out in the best way. May anything that, that need to be revealed to me from this day forward, may it be revealed to me in clarity. May my eyes be able to hear. May my eyes be able to see. May my ears be able to hear. May any dealings in business be with ease and divine protection. Now you're speaking prayers over your life because of this situation, okay? Then you can address the anger. You can affirm, anger is violation. You felt violated in this situation. You can affirm that you are divinely protected and provided for. That nothing is by chance, This situation brought this violation. This going to show me something. This going to reveal something to me. I'm confident in that. May the pain that I feel be vacuumed out of my heart, out of my mind. May I be relieved of. So now you start. So two of the main tools in order for you to balance out life and reconcile these different emotions so you can come to a space of balance are affirmations and prayers. And how it's working is, because you say, okay, Queen, you just praying. This is like, and some people resist the whole notion of, man ought to always pray. Peace, man ought to always pray. They resist that notion because we have had, over time, groups of individuals to say, hey, we prayed about it, but we saw or witnessed no change or no advancement, like for the case of melanated people. They may say, yeah, we've prayed for years, but we're still dealing with the same thing. That's not the type of prayer I'm talking about. Okay, first of all, praying is aligning with the reality of God. That's first and foremost. And then it's affirming the reality of God. And then it's remembering the reality, not and then, but all of those things is a part of prayer. Remembering the reality of God, affirming the reality of God, aligning with the reality of God. And when I say the reality of God, let me be clear. I am not talking about something separate from you that is, in some pearly gates looking down, like a little puppeteer. When I say the reality of God, again, I'm not saying anything outside of yourself, in pearly gates above you, like looking down, governing your life. The reality of God is that there is a reality, is referencing the reality that there's a life force energy. A life force energy. Some people call it spirit. Some people call it energy. Some people call it universe. Some people call it source. Some people call it God. Whatever you call it. Mother, Father, Creator. Whatever you call it. I'll accept all of them things. Y'all know when I pray, I say, Amen, Amen, hallelujah, Jah Rastafari, whatever we need to call it. I'll accept all of them. But the reality is, it exists. And it is the life force energy that created everything. That life force energy also resides in your mind, and it resides in your chakras, and it resides in the palms of your hands, and it resides in the water that you drink, and it resides in all of it. The sage that you burn, the gemstones that you hold, it resides in it all. This is the reality of God. Okay? So when you pray, you're giving your chance to remember that. That's like plugging in. Oftentimes, we're absolutely unplugged from the reality of God. We're unplugged from that. And we're plugged in to what we're seeing happening with our eyes, with what we can touch. Like, we are unplugged from the reality of God, which oftentimes you're not going to see the essence of it. You can see the manifestation of it via a nice car, via the trees, via the money you make, via the food you eat. Yeah, you see the manifestation of that essence, but that essence is something that you often can't see, especially in situations where your ego is caught up in it, where you're judging that situation like, oh, this is good, this is bad, this is whatever. So when you're activating the prayer, you're activating the remembrance of the reality of God. Now, what comes with the reality of God also, remembering that everything is always working out for you. What does that mean, Queen? Because that sounds good, but what is you saying? Listen, the best, in my estimation, one of the most effective reflections, one of the most clear and sound reflections of the reality of God and of God is nature. It's nature. You don't have to try to control the seasons. They're going to come. You don't have to go, and we don't have to go and put a reminder on our phones to go and take the leaves off of the trees so that they can grow new ones. It's going to happen. You don't have to put an alarm on and do a holy dance to get the sun out. It's going to come. It's going to come. The moon phases, they're going to go. Nature, this whole thing, save the nature. Listen, you ain't got to save the earth, because one thing, you're going to have to save yourself, because one thing about it, the earth going to rejuvenate itself. If it takes you out in the meantime, that's what we need to be. You need to be worried about. You need to save yourself, because you keep doing what you're doing and it causes whatever. It's going to harm you more than it harm Earth. Mama Earth, that's mama. That's nature. Nature is always pushing towards growing, rejuvenating, renewal, expansion. That's nature. That's nature. And that is what it means when we say everything is always working out. Everything is always moving towards balance. We see death, us humans, and peace to those who have family members who have transitioned. And, it's a hurtful thing. It's something that's tough. I get it. But we see death or transition as something bad, and we grieve it. When people's body fails them, or when they transition into the next realm. But that is the body or the spirit pushing towards eternity, pushing towards wholeness and completion. If your body has held on to a weak heart, mucus, fluid, you have diseases that's causing high blood pressure, low sugar, this, that. Your body is going to keep pushing towards completion, wholeness, healing. And that push might be to transition. Like, this physical body can't handle your spirit anymore, And that brings me to an emphasis of the point. We're making ourselves sick because our bodies can't handle anxiety. Why do you think your hair starts falling out? Your shoulders start getting tight. Your joints start to hurt. You start to develop tumors. You start to develop mucus. Which turns into tumors, which turns into cancer. You start to develop a heart that's pumping too fast. You start to develop blood that doesn't come on. The body can't handle anything that is not of God. The body don't want to handle that. The body is beautifully made and it is perfect. And so anything that's in imbalance, just as your life is, your pure positive energy don't like anything that's imbalanced. That's why you always want better. You always want more. Or you always want ease. That's why you want that. Your body, if you hold pure positive energy within your soul, different than spirit. If you hold positive energy within your soul, your positive energy within your soul is always going to push you for higher, more, better. Always. It's not going to stop. You can try to suppress it. You can try to convince yourself. You can activate your intellect and try to push down the intuition. It's not going to happen. This is why somebody can come in there with a clear vision. We sit down, clear vision. And I'm like, okay, cheerleader mode. I'm like, yes, you know what I'm saying? Everything is always working out for you. You got the same source. You got the same source of life that created the worlds within you, within your blah, blah, blah. I'm cheerleading. Yeah, go. Then you get out there and you get discouraged. And you start to try to convince yourself that, well, maybe that vision, maybe it ain't, that's, I don't know, like, it ain't really realistic, I don't really have enough intellect for that, or, I don't really deserve that, like, how could I dare think that? Well, maybe I just need to save up a little bit more money, or, well, maybe I need to grow a few more inches, or maybe I need, then what happened? It ain't gonna go away. The desire is not going to go away. The urge is not going to go away. You may find stuff to appease you and make you feel better, temporarily and all of those different things. But listen, it's not going to go away. And what's going to happen? You stay doing what you're doing, making yourself sick. It ain't nobody else. You made me sick. No, you making yourself sick. Because Spirit done told you to leave that relationship. Spirit done told you to leave that job. Spirit done told you to get that degree. Spirit done told you to get that certification. Spirit done told you to do this, do that. Spirit done told you. You ignored it. You appeased yourself because of your fear. You appeased yourself because of your worry, for your anxiety and all of that. And then what happened? You see people, you start losing your hair, you start having sleepless nights, you start having problems with your family, you start having problems with your relationship, and all of these things start happening. Now you're back. Welcome. Come on in. Let me get my sage. Hold on, wait a minute. Come on. Don't be judging me, y'all. I be keeping a little sage in my car. Just for some vibes. You know what I mean? I got a little clay tray that I keep in my little things so it don't look ratchet. Okay? Come on in. Let me sage you. Now, after I sage you, let me, get you some. Let me get you together. All right. Let's talk about it. What's going on? Well, and that's okay, because this is a human journey. So first of all, don't go hard on yourself. Understand that you went through those things so you can, you ain't learned the lesson yet. You haven't gotten it. You haven't been convinced yet, and that's okay. Sometimes we need a little convincing, and sometimes that convincing come with illness, dis-ease. How many times have people come to Jesus moment? Jesus meaning your higher mind, Jesus meaning your higher self, Jesus meaning your divine mind. So let's be clear. Let's be clear. I'm not ditching the Jesus, because I know what Jesus metaphysically on a deeper level mean. So if you want to call it Jesus, Ashe. You want to call it Allah, you want to call it Muhammad, you want to call it whatever, higher mind, divine mind. You done had a come to Jesus moment because you done dealt with the dis-ease and done taught you something, and it has convinced you, no, this ain't it. I should be experiencing more. I want more. I'm convinced that there's more. Ashe. So we give thanks. So even in the sickness, there's something great in that. Even in the sickness, there's something great in that. So, so now, because of the reality of God, and when you remember the reality of God, when you affirm the reality of God, when you remember the reality of God through meditation, okay, that's what meditation is for. It's not just to calm your mind, and it's going to do that by default. But meditation is the remembrance of God. Putting yourself in a space of the remembrance of God. If you're in a situation where you feel like somebody is making you sick, just know they're not. You're making yourself sick. So now, when you're in a situation where you're making yourself sick, I would suggest that first, meditate. Take some time to breathe. When you're dealing with that situation with your boo, when you're dealing with that situation with your supervisor, when you're dealing with that situation with your shmoney, when you're dealing with that situation with whatever, first take a moment to just breathe. First and foremost, that breath is going to start stimulating the chakras and start to release that tense energy you have taken on. Girl, right? Ooh, somebody send me that in my DM, sis, so I can remember. I'm taking a list of all the shirts that I'm going to get made. So when you breathe, so I'm giving, here is the how, okay? Because I like to give, okay, so what do we do, Queen? First of all, go into meditation. So many people, I can't meditate. I can't, my mind too busy. I don't know how to do it. Stop that arguing for your limitations. All right? Here's a simple way you can meditate and you can grow from there. First, breathe. Activating the breath activates the spirit. Spirit is embedded in the word respiratory. So when you breathe, feel yourself relax. Allow your shoulders to release. Allow your arms to release. Allow your hands, your legs, your feet. Be in a space where you can release. Your chakras are going to start to release that tense energy that you've taken on in the form of anger, sadness, fear, resentment, shame, guilt. After you start to breathe, start to connect with your body. imagine and or remember that you have life force energy flowing through you. So what I like to do is I imagine white electric bright light flowing through my veins, flowing through my body, spinning around in my chakras, spinning around my crown, you know, slowly and electrically. White light, purple light, green light, you know, whatever light comes to you. You know, if you having issues with heart chakra, green light may come to you. You know, throat chakra, you ain't able to express yourself, you know, you feel like you misunderstood, blue light may come to you. You feel like you just frustrated because you can't quite create what you want to in your life, and your life just feels stuck, and you just don't feel like you can create like you want to. You got all the ideas, but I can't create like I want. Then orange light may come to you, because that's sacral chakra. You feel like, I'm just, you know, I just can't keep money, man, and I just can't survive, and I just can't do better, and I want this bigger house, and I just can't get it, and I want to not be all nomadic, and, you know, I can't never keep a job, I can't never keep my money, I can't. Red light may come to you because of, it's your root chakra. After you breathe and calm your body down, begin to visualize the life force energy flowing through you as light. Whatever light that comes to mind. And if you want to learn more about the chakras and the different colors, check out my ebook, A Different Kind of Living. Simple ways to raise your vibration, because it can tell you about the chakras, the colors, and all of those different things, so that you can be versed about what light to possibly visualize flowing through your body to help heal you and open up your chakras, which again store your life force energy as wills. Then after you breathe and settle yourself, get yourself together, get your, you know, chakras in alignment, get yourself open, then you remember. How do I remember? I say things to myself like, life force energy is flowing through my body. Life force energy is flowing through my heart. It's flowing through my mind. This life force energy that created the world, it resides within me. This life force energy that created the world is always moving toward growth, expansion, peace, abundance, joy. It's always moving towards that, no matter the circumstances. And I trust that everything is always working out on my behalf. I give thanks for the life force energy I see in the trees and the seasons and the moon and the sun and the da. Do you think for 1 second, if you do that, how long that took me? 5 minutes? 7 minutes? If I didn't explain and I just did it, 5 minutes, 7 minutes. Do you think that you're going to stay in a place where you're making yourself sick if you could take time to do a meditation like that? We think that things are just so complex. Like Lauryn Hill say, you know, things are so simple, but we rather make it hard. Slow the mind down. Calm the ego down. Reflect. Talk to yourself. Resist beating up on yourself. Remember that you can heal your life from the inside out. You can expand your life from the inside out. You can shift and refine your attractions from the inside out. So it's not a necessity to hold on to the why, the who, the right, who wrong. It ain't a necessity for that. What's a necessity is for you to remember who you are as a spiritual being. And not only your connection to the reality of God, but the fact that the reality of God, that life force energy that created the world, resides right here within you. If you can remember that, versus trying to figure the why, the who, I wonder why. Remember God first. Then we can get to the why. So that maybe we can work on it not happening again. But remember God first. So that you can be the light that shifts all situations. So the example I gave with the sister who had the friend for 20 years and the friend done took the blueprint of the business and done made her own business out there popping. I mean, customers and everything going to her like, what in the world? I can't believe this. But if you in the moment remember who you are, Remember God and remember who you are as a spiritual being. You can speak life over that situation. And believe it or not, good and God will come out of that situation because of your faithfulness. The word I'm focusing on this week, faithfulness. Because of your faithfulness, your loyalty, your commitment to your higher self, your commitment to being a reflection of God as you are. Because of your commitment to do that and be that, no matter the circumstances, you can help usher